as we gathered to the old, shouting, Abba, Yahweh, again and again. Abba, Yahweh, Abba, Yahweh, all in unison, entering into the old city, arm in arm, the saints of the Lord, entering to the temple grounds. Men and women, all self-proclaimed holy people, doing their individual chants, their collective prayers, all meaningless in the eyes of the Lord, but they tarried forward to no avail, and as the ground shook beneath them, and the stones began to separate, and many of them were swallowed up by the earth, some knelt to pray, and others ran away, while many continued to be swallowed up by the earth. But the saints of the Lord stood strong, chanting, Abba, Yahweh, Abba, Yahweh, all in unison. And while the ground continued to swallow up the unfaithful, and those who were on the cusp of being faithful knelt to pray, the ground and the tiles, the stones that held the temple grounds together, separated, and the earth became like water, like a liquid, like a river flowing, turning and churning and carrying us off into the distance, up and around and over the Mount of Olives to a brighter place. Abba, Yahweh, all of us continued to chant, and all of us gathered together still, even by the stones that held us on the surface of the earth. All of us carried together, chanting together, crying out to God, the Father. Well, it took us to a place brighter than we'd ever known in this life. And when we were there, we were lined up in two groups, 12 by 12. And the first group was given 12 keys. And those 12 keys were divvied out from among us. And to each of those 12 keys was an angel, a different angel, meant to guide us and show us our place in the grand, bright city above us. And when I looked, holding my key in my hand, I looked up and saw the angel that was meant to guide me. And then I woke up. God's people, that was a vision that was given to me last night. Right after I was taking my little break from doing live streams, I used that time to rest. And I woke up in the middle of the night, and I sent Sister Kelly an audio message so that I wouldn't forget what I had dreamed. And thank God I did, because it reminded me of a lot of it. And it's important that you hear this message, and I'll leave it to all of you to interpret. But many of our clergy in the past, including Sister Samantha in particular, has had visions such as these about the end times, about Elysium or New Jerusalem, or even the people of God crying out in unison, Abba, which means Father in Hebrew. So there's a reason for this. What the reason is exactly, it may be symbolic. Some of it may be literal, but I feel that much of it is symbolic. And the 12 keys could represent something about the 12 apostles, could represent something about the 12 gates to New Jerusalem, could represent something about the 12 tribes too. But whatever it means, I believe it's very significant, and I had to share it with you today. Family, I love you very much, and I hope that we can share things like this continually. All in the name of our Lord. So may God bless you and keep us together and sharing and loving each other, and loving God in particular. So thank God for all of you. Thank God for this vision. Thank God for the ability to share it with you. And I pray that it meets you well, and that you acquire the interpretation of this vision, visions of your own, and faith in the returned Christ. Lord Rael, I love you all very much, and I'll see you soon.